It's really starting to hit me. We still live on a fucking plantation. Like literally, this is literally still a fucking plantation. This whole society still operates as a plantation against black men. Like I heard it in the past, but when people would say it in the past, I would take it like, oh, they just talking cliche. But once you really analyze society, analyze your experiences as a black man, you realize, now this society is still a fucking plantation, like literally. Like we black men today, we still kind of get treated like we're on a plantation out in everyday society. It's fucking weird. Like, and I can sense it because it's not always what people say, it's their body language and the energy that they give off. You know, I can sense the spirits that are on people. Not everyone has that gift, but I do. Whenever I'm out and about in society, out and about in public, I always get this vibe from people that like they're gauging my every fucking move. Like they're watching over my fucking every little move that I'm doing. How I'm holding something, how I'm walking. Like as a black man, people are paying close attention to your every little move. Like they're your overseer on a fucking plantation. Like it's during slavery when we're on the plantation, the slave owners, the overseers of the plantation, they will watch over every slave closely, extremely closely. Every move you'll make, you know. Then, you know, when I'm out and about in society, in public, I get this vibe that as a black man, that if I try to speak to a female, they'll try to call the police on me, or I'll get in trouble for somehow. They can always run and tell mass on me if I try to speak to a black woman. And I get this vibe from all races of women. Like I gotta think twice to speak to a woman as a black man, because I could potentially get the police called on me if I try to speak to them. Not even sexually harassing them or anything, just casually trying to speak to them, you know? And me, I have a common sense intelligence. I know only a black man fucking has that mentality. No white man is walking around with this mentality, oh, if I approach that female over there, she's gonna try to call the police on me. If I try to holler at that female over there, she might possibly try to call the police on me or try to get me in trouble in some way or try to bring attention on me by getting loud to get me in trouble. No white man's having that mentality. I just know from my common sense, knowing how this society is structured, you know, white men have a privilege. It was like that on the plantation, right? On the plantation, you know, the slave owners, the slave overseers, you know, and other black men who were slaves, black women who were slaves, they all made sure that the black male slaves were not able to have sexual access to women. You know, it was a combined effort, especially against the alpha slave. Everyone during slavery, everyone, including the slave master, the slave overseer, the white woman who was the slave's owner's wife, you know, and the black women who were slaves, and the other black men who were slaves, their number one job was to restrict the alpha black male slaves from getting sexual access to any type of woman. During slavery, black male slaves were not allowed to have sex with the black women. They were not allowed to have sex, especially with the white women. That was their number one duty, to restrict certain, especially the alpha black male slaves, from having sex. So, like, if another slave caught you trying to holler at a female, they'll run and tell master on you to get you in trouble, to get you lynched. That was just one of their ways to oppress you as a man. I know sex is not all about, there's other aspects to manhood besides sex, but come on, that's emasculating if you're being stripped away from having relations with a woman. That's not natural as a man. It's just not. I don't care what anybody says. Then, like, I'm finally connecting the dots. This shit all makes sense. We're on a fucking plantation. During slavery, it's like black people, we're still fucking, even though slavery is technically over, right? We still have that mentality ingrained in us genetically to be slaves, to acquiesce to white man's power. Not all slaves were like that. Some slaves naturally just had that mentality, that spirit to not bow down to the system. And it was always a small amount of slaves who had that mentality, that spirit to not bow down. Most of the slaves, were coon-ass niggas. Most black people were coon-ass niggas, and it's always been like that. It's always been like that, where most black people during slavery and now were coon-ass niggas and just like to acquiesce to the white man's power system. It's always been like that, Like, it started to make sense to me, man. It's like, just mentally, slavery really did a damage to our people's psyche. It was so bad that it put a permanent imprint on how we behave today. And we're hundreds of years after slavery, we still have these same mentalities that we did during slavery, because it's just in us now. It's really, literally, genetically in us to be slaves. Like, black people, we have all this money. We generate trillions of dollars. We have all these celebrities who have a big influence, but we don't start any businesses. We don't start our own NBA. We don't start our own basketball league. We have all these basketball players who played on the NBA, who are billionaires, millionaires, shoe endorsements, LeBron James, Michael Jordan. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, but all these fucking multi-millionaire basketball players, and you can't start our own basketball league? It's because we're genetically ingrained to want to be under the white man's power. It's just in us to want to acquiesce to the white man. It's just like, that's why 2/3 of us are going to have to be destroyed. It's because we're fucking, slavery finished our fucking people. It's no turning back. It finished our fucking people, man. Like, as a black man, this is a fucking plantation, man. I'm really starting to see it. Literally, it's still a fucking plantation. As a black man, like, you still get treated like it's fucking slavery. You got everybody and their mama watching over you just to make sure you don't talk to a female. You talk to a female, the women, they'll be gossiping to other black men and telling them every little text message you sent them, he said this, he said that. It's like, what the fuck? Why are you telling another man's my business, like he's my overseer or something. Like he has this authority over me to get me in trouble. Like if you say certain things to some of these immature black women through text message, they'll run and tell other black men what you said to them to get you in, like they're doing it to get you in trouble. Like this is a fucking slave plantation. This is what happened. This is what used to happen on a plantation, right? Even black men were a part of the oppression of other black male slaves. You know, other black male slaves would try to oppress other black male slaves. You know, if a black man who's a slave saw you talking to a woman, trying to talk to a black woman even, they're running to a master to get your ass beat. So literally, that's why everyone in the society has this teams up to cock block and penis police black men. Because that's how we used to be on the plantation, man. It's fucking crazy, man. As a black man, you can't talk to, especially an alpha black man. As an alpha black man, everyone in this society's number one agenda is for you to not get sexual access to a woman. And it was the same way on the plantation. Other black men, they'll be trying to cock block you. These little white boys, they'll be all up on your back trying to cock block you. Black women, even black women, you know, black women, you could talk to them. You can you could talk to black women as a black man, as an alpha black man. You could tell that they're sexually attracted to you and are feeling you, but for some reason, when it gets down to it, they won't end up giving you the time of day. And I always experience that shit with black women. It's because they have this fucking genetically ingrained plantation mentality to restrict a black man from sex, you know, to appease their fucking white masses. It's fucking ingrained in them. And we live in a fucking plantation where most of our black people are fucking coons and want to be on the white man. So they're going to have to get destroyed. And the plantation coon, they're just as bad, if not even worse, than a fucking slave master. You know? It's like, man, like if you're a black man, you get treated like shit from other black people more than the fucking slave owner sometimes. That's how it was set up during slavery, and most of our people are still mentally slaves. Like literally, we're still mentally slaves. It's crazy, right? It's crazy, man. It's only going to be a remnant who the white man already knows, man. He already knows he got 2/3 of y'all coon-ass Negroes. He knows most of y'all coon-ass Negroes ain't strong enough to put up a fight. You know, y'all like being under the white man's rule. He knows it's only going to be a small percentage of black men who attempt to fight his ass back. And that's just how it is, man. And it says it in the Bible, man. It's only going to be a small elect who make it through this bullshit, man. But all right, you guys, peace. It's like, man, let me say one more thing. It's like as a black man, this is literally a fucking plantation where everybody is out to get an alpha black male slave, quote unquote, in trouble. Everyone wants to get you in trouble. Good morning. Everyone is fucking. When I'm out and about in society, I always get this energy from people that I'm being surveillanced. I'm not talking about policemen surveillancing me. They be watching over your black ass too. I'm not only talking about the police or security guards. I'm not only talking about them. I'm talking about when I'm out and about in society. I feel like regular, everyday people are surveillancing me as if they have like some sort of authoritative power over me. And that's how this society is set up. This society is still set up like a plantation where people who are not even the slave owner, who are not the policemen, who are not the security guards, they're still watching over an alpha black man like, let me watch over. Like they want to watch over you. Like they have some sort of authoritative power over you because everyone's watching over you to get your black ass in trouble. Like this is a fucking plantation. Fuck out of here.